Here with Floppy Disk Gaming, and this is our top 5 video game franchises of all time. Now, we have more than 5 this time because I believe that some of them needed recognition, but they weren't exactly in the top 5 per se. So I'm going to go through our honorable mentions, and then I'll go through the actual top 5. Now, our first honorable mention that I want to recognize is Spyro. Now, this is one of my favorite franchises of all time. That's primarily why it's on this list, but also it was huge in the PlayStation 1 generation. Insomniac Games was pretty much built a huge reputation over this game in the open world-ish platforming 3D realm, and it gave them a big name in the market. Also, it's been sold recently to Activision, and it's been turned into a whole different thing that's making tons of money. Like, it's been turned into Skylanders and Skylanders Swap Force and all that, and just to play, like, the minimum you'd have to pay is like $200, and that's selling like no other game right now. So I have to say that it's definitely number one for a reason, or it's not number one, I'm stupid. It's an honorable mention for a reason. It's making tons of money, and it has a huge backing of its name. Our next honorable mention is Madden, and the only reason that it didn't actually make the list is because it is the same game every year, pretty much. And really, they just throw in one extra thing to make it it's a brand new game. But this is a huge selling game, and it sells huge every year, and I believe every other year I buy the new generation of it, just because it's fun to play. It's going to be fun to play. It's the only football game with Madden's seal of approval on it. It's the only football game with the NFL's seal of approval on it, and so it sells huge. Also, my next one is Assassin's Creed. Now, this one could be bumped up depending on what goes on here in the next generation. It's had a little bit of a rough patch. It really hit its stride with 2, Brotherhood, kind of lost me with Revelations, and then definitely lost me with Assassin's Creed 3. But 4 looks to be a whole new generation of this, and it seems to be picking up pretty well. So Assassin's Creed is a huge seller, so it's on this list because of the fact that it is a prolific game franchise in our modern day. And then my final one is Gears of War. Now, I don't particularly understand what the big draw of Gears of War is. I think it's just another third-person shooter. I do realize that it did revolutionize the third-person cover shooting system, and for that it gets on this list. It did sell tons of copies. Even its prequels are selling huge, so it's going to be a huge market bringer for Microsoft in the next generation. So it's fun to see where this one's going. Now, actually getting down to the top 5. At number 5, we have Pokemon. Now, Pokemon is a huge seller in every way possible. I mean, I've bought probably 5 Pokemon games, and that's a lot of games for a franchise, especially one that is typically just the exact same one each iteration. And I've never actually been able to beat them, but I always have fun, and I know that I'm going to get what I want out of the Pokemon game. So that's why it's at number 5. It's not as huge as it used to be, which dropped it down a little bit, and I'm sure you'll understand when you look at the other ones on this list. And at number 4, we have Final Fantasy. Now, Final Fantasy isn't a huge draw for me. I love JRPGs, but I've always been a little bit hindrant on getting in because I'm not sure if they have like a continuous story or if each is a different iteration. But Final Fantasies are selling huge, and even their MMO that failed and then came back online was huge. It is obviously a huge seller, and it deserves recognition for being a great game franchise. And at number 3, we have, I'm sure is going to be a very controversial one, Call of Duty. Now, Call of Duty is a huge seller. I mean, it has set records beyond movies, books, music, and just recently lost the title of quickest selling entertainment device to GTA. And each iteration is going to make tons of money, and I don't see that dying out anytime soon. It's one of those games that I buy when it comes out just because I want to say that I'm better than you at it, and that's why I believe that we are going to keep seeing this one for, I'm going to guess, the next 10 years at least, and then it might start to peter out if we get a new franchise that can take over the FPS just as well. Battlefield has tried to do it. I don't believe it captures like the fun that I feel when I'm playing Call of Duty. I've tried playing Battlefield, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3. I'm considering Battlefield 4, but I'm not sure, as I will have Call of Duty when the next gen launches. So that's why it's at number 3. It's going to be a huge seller later on, and I have nothing more to say on that one. And at number 2, we have Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto used to be whispered from little kid to little kid on the playground. You could beat people up in this game and steal their cars in this game. It was amazing. And now it's kind of lost that allure, but it keeps people coming back. And I think we've seen that even more since it broke $1 billion in, I believe, under 2 days. It was 2 or 3 days. So I believe that we're going to see a huge gain in this franchise in the next iteration. This one obviously showed a huge commitment. It's the largest open world ever, and I'm just excited to see where they take this one next, because I don't think they can get any crazier, so they might have to get more serious? They might have to get sillier again. Because my favorite one was obviously San Andreas. I'd say 5 even beat out Vice City, which was number 2, definitely. And then number 3 is Vice City. Probably goes to 3, on and on and on. But these games are huge, they're big draws, and they obviously have a fan base still. And then at number 1, we have the game that made Nintendo and the game that has Nintendo on life support right now, and that's Mario. Mario, it's a huge game. I've never really heard anybody say, oh, I hated that Mario game. When it's Paper Mario, Mario Galaxy, Mario 3D, Super Mario, Yoshi's Land, I mean, anything to do with Mario is going to sell huge. I even break down and buy them every once in a while. I might even buy a Wii U when Mario 3D Land comes out, just because it's Mario. Yeah, so I really don't see any reason why Mario wouldn't be at number 1. He's the most recognizable video game character ever. I think he's going to be the video game character that stays with us the longest in history, and I really believe that Mario is going to... I believe that Mario has some things coming for him. He's going to do alright. I think we're going to see a lot more Mario, and I don't think he's going to die out anytime soon. And that's why Mario is our number 1 video game franchise of all time. Thank you for watching this Floppy Disk Reviews top 5, top 9, whatever. Please leave a comment. What was your favorite video game franchise? Like, subscribe. It all helps me, helps make these videos better. And thank you for watching.